Pull up a seat and motherfucking listen. Pull up a seat and motherfucking listen.
Pack your bag, time to go home.
Talking crazy on our soil where our blood and bones grown.
This our grind, we outside on it. While y'all fools on the outside looking, y'all show no respect to Black America, so leave.
Y'all don't get it, so it's time to go home.
Get the hell up out of America, take your disrespect and just fly on.
Y'all don't get it, so it's time to go home.
Get the hell up out of America, take your disrespect and just fly on.
You landed on the tarmac, fresh off the boat. Talking about y'all building nothing, man, you choking on the note. My ancestors the reason that this country even breathes. Picked the cotton, built the White House, planted the seed. Jim Crow laws, redlined the map, we was the target. You think that struggle's a costume, man, you can't mark it. We fought the wars, we bled the blood, we died for our future's chance. And you come here and give our legacy a side eye while throwing shade on the guard. While you benefit from doors we kicked down with our last breath. Now you spit on the architects who stared down death. Disrespectful, that's disrespectful, ungrateful. A slap in the face, the only people who gave a fuck. So let me show your ungrateful ass to the right place.
Pack your bags, time to go home.
Talking crazy on our soil where our blood and bones grown.
This our ground and we outside on it. While y'all fools on the outside looking, y'all show no respect to Black America, so leave.
Y'all don't get it, so it's time to go home.
Get the hell up out of America, take your disrespect and just fly on.
Y'all don't get it, so it's time to go home.
Get the hell up out of America, take your disrespect
You
and
got
just
the
fly on.
passport, the visa, the privilege to be here. Cause my grandma didn't march for y'all, so disappear from our land. You cosplaying our pain. Think it's a trend you can borrow, but you ain't inherit the ghosts of our sorrow. We the foundation, the bedrock, the soil, and the root. You not no branch on our tree, and unproductive people always cosplaying me.
Talking about we ain't do nothing, you lost your mind. We built this from nothing, time after time.
From the beginning to now, we've been the backbone and muscle. Why you look down on the struggle and cause a whole tussle? That energy style with discussing is whack.
So let's make it clear, there's no turning back.
This land is paid for in full.
In blood, sweat, and tears, and dreams deferred.
You don't get to come into a house we built from the dirt and telling Black America y'all ain't worth nothing. That's a violation, facts.
Pack your bags, time to go home.
It's our soil on our soil where our blood and bones grown.
Show respect, this our ground, y'all just tenants on a leash.
Or get the step.
Show no respect to Black America, so leave.
Don't get it, so it's time to go home.
Get the hell up out of America, taking your business, I can just fly on.
Don't get it, so it's time to go home.
Get the hell up out of America, taking your business, I can just fly on.
Yeah, fly little birdies.
Fly on back to where you came from.
This ain't for you. The soil is sacred.
We said what we said,
It's time.
for y'all to go home. So fly a little birdies fly. So fly a little birdies fly. So fly a little birdies fly. Far, far away from here. So fly a little birdies fly. So fly a little birdies fly. So fly a little birdies fly. Far, far away from here. So fly a little birdies fly. So fly a little birdies fly. So fly a little birdies fly. Far, far away from here. So fly a little birdies fly. So fly a little birdies fly. So fly a little birdies fly. Far, far away from here. Bye bye, little birds. We built this land from dust and tears, 400 years, and we still here. They write new rules, but they don't see every freedom they got came off you and me. We planted seeds, they took the bloom. We lit the flame, they left the room. But we back now, no disguise. The spirit's what we realize. All we want is what we earn. That sweat and blood, yeah, that table turn. You can't buy culture, can't fake that fight. This is our day, this is our ride. We LBA. Say it loud, say it strong. We the heartbeat that's been here all along. Foundation of Black Americans, stand tall. We ain't begging for nothing, we built that all. Born from pain and grace, you can see the truth written in our face. We the soul, the sound, to fight the flame. Foundational Black Americans, say our name. They love our rhythm, but they dodge our blues. Use our voice when it fits their news. They take our sound, but not our scars. We the backbone, we the scars. Now the veil is gone, the mask is clear. We see the game, we know what's here. No more silence, no more lies. We lift that flag and watch it rise. Rise up, rise up. We the ones that made this nation breathe. Our plains are power, our roots are trees. We know worlds. It's rhythm and grace now, and now we're reclaiming our rightful place. Can't copy courage, can't steal pain. You can't inherit soul by changing names. Our story ain't done, it's the revival. We guard the gate, it's about survival. We FBA, say it proud, say it loud. The world dances on what we vow. Foundational Black Americans. Still we stand, still we fight, still we demand. Every block, every song, we've been right here all along. The soul of a people strong and free. Foundational Black Americans. We the first, we the root, we the fire. Still rising, still here. Foundational Black American.
We set the tone and they copy the cadence. Dance to our drums and deny the foundation. Wear the style but don't honor the source. Smile in the crowd and you distance and force. Say you not us but you rap like we breathe. Take the rhythm, then fuse the receipts. I ain't mad, I'm just holding the glass. Showing the mirror, now answer it back. I ain't here to cancel nobody. Just keep it honest, keep it solid. If you eat from the table we built, don't act surprised when we guard it. Do you like that? Do you like that? When I flip your sound and I ride like that. Do you like that? Do you like that? Do you like that? Cause that's how it feel when you borrow my culture. Then act like we never matter. Hip-hop.
Mike Larry. Now this shit here, it's what I see it is. We're not fighting your battles. We're not carrying your fear. We're not lending our history to people who erased us while we were here. Just cause you're born here, don't make you FBA. That makes you a citizen, learn the difference today. This is lineage, not a look you can wear. Not a costume you borrow when it benefits you there. You use our culture like like an access card, backstage pass, a straight facade, but now the mirror's in your face. No disguise, and you're uncomfortable looking truth in the eyes. We didn't leave our land to beg for a chance. We stayed, we fought, we took every advance. That's the separation, that's the line you cross. We paid the price, you learned the cost. You waving your flag on our soil, but fighting not to go back home. Waving your flag on our soil, building comfort on a foundation you didn't own. We waving our flag, red, black, and gold. Stood our ground, never sold. You waving your flag on our soil, but scared to build what you claim you love. Our humor, our style, the way we move, the smoothness, the sound, the things we prove. Music we birth, language we shape, innovation forged under constant escape. Warrior spirit means stay and defend, not flee your land and rewrite the end. You call it success, but don't confuse the two. Ease came after what we went through. You abandoned your land and called it strategy. You waved that flag loud, but won't return to build your legacy. That contradiction tells the story for you. You waving your flag on our soil, or fighting not to go back home. We waving ours where we were forged, every inch earned, every brick known. We can't be deported, and that truth changes everything. We can't be deported, and that truth changes everything. We know who we are, and now we see who you are too. Just because y'all born here doesn't make you FBA at all. It makes you an American citizen. It's biologically impossible to be us, because it's a lineage, not some damn costume you can just put on to look cool. You immigrants and immigrant Americans has used our culture as an access card, a backstage pass to our culture. Now y'all have to look in the mirror. Our sense of humor, the aesthetics, mannerisms, the style of dress, the smoothness, the creativity, our genres of music, innovativeness, our slang, our warrior spirit by staying on our homeland and fighting and not fleeing to somebody else's land to beg for a better life and shit on the very people who fought to have us there. That's who we are. And we know who the hell y'all are waving your flag on our soil and fighting to make sure y'all don't go back.
You can't leech off our culture anymore. Beat it!
You know, erasing history is something that you have to do when it comes to conquest, domination, and destroying a people. If people knew who they were, what they were, and what they were capable of in the past, they will understand what they have a possibility or a likelihood of doing in the future.
Foundation of Black Americans, we've always had a culture of resistance. We cultivated a culture of resistance on this land, and we've been resisting ever since we've encountered European domination.
But nothing was really popping in Europe until the transatlantic slave trade, and that's where they amassed a lot of wealth.
One thing that I think is unique about our culture as far as how we resist, how we fight back is just the environment we were put in from day one. Being only 13% of the population, the white supremacists were very meticulous about keeping that population at a certain amount.
There was never a period when we did not resist the encroachment of the white man.
They have a natural behavior of authority no matter where they go. That's why they'll step up in front of us in the line at the store. We're not important. They don't even see us.
We've never been able to excel. We've never been able to relax. We've never been able to just be, which means that existence is resistance.
It must be something in our DNA, our historical background, to when something doesn't sit right with us, especially spiritually, in our souls and in our spirit, we just say no.
We live resistance. You know, from the moment we're born, we're in resistance. And it's handed down generation to generation.
And so I think that cultural resistance is actually in our DNA, in our epigenetics, and then it blossoms out into the culture.
So there's almost nothing in America that we do, from song to dance to politics to the way we talk, the way we dress, having coded languages considered to be slang today. Everything about Black American culture is a form of resistance.
of course, they want to always downplay our contributions to the global tapestry because they continue to act like our number one export in this country is not Black innovation.
Everyone understands that our resistance has been the cornerstone of what foundational Black Americans have always done. We are the life that breathes everything into this nation.
The further back you go, the further Black you go. It's just simple like that, brother.
America, Argentina.
Grand Rising for season 11, episode 27, Grand Rising with Shabaka and the Chase, in conjunction with Frontline Black News. I'm coming to you from Las Vegas, Nevada this morning. We're waiting on our host from the Mile High Income City. You with us?
Yeah, I'm right here, Shabaka.
Oh, okay. My
You
bad.
got the itinerary?
Yes, sir. I did see going back over the itinerary, sir. If they decide to, okay, wait a minute. Okay. Yes, sir. All righty. On this season 11, episode 27 of Grand Rising with Shabaka and the Chase, in conjunction with the Frontline Black News, we'll be discussing several topics. America among three nations refusing to recognize the horrors of slavery, so fuck them. Ghana on adoption of resolution on trafficking of enslaved Africans. Media stakeout. United Nations, FBA let Ghana president know at the African No Negro Burial Ground, New York City, FBA protest. Ghana president reparations. Did Ghana just try to redirect reparations money away from, as you refer to as FBAs at the United Nations? Save Act threatens voters and women and Black people, while Nottoway's fire forced a reckoning with slavery. And if we have time, indicated Florida Congresswoman Shelia Cherfilus faces public ethics trial. White woman claims Black Americans started slavery, which is the biggest goddamn lie ever told. But then this happened. Officials find stash of KKK items inside government office. Why am I not surprised? The dump, as in human shit. And I want to make that perfectly clear, by the way. Blames Hegseth for Iran war. Trump's Ballroom project crisis unfolds. Okay, Brother Che, did I do it correctly, sir?
Yes. And Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced is based on the 50th anniversary of the founding of the original Black Panther Party for Self-Defense. It started on Blog Talk Radio back in 2016 and have been around for 11 seasons now. Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced covers the Black experience from the beginning of time until 10 minutes ago. It is also part of the Frontline campaign and has recently, within the last 2 to 3 years, moved from Blog Talk Radio to StreamYard. How do I sound, Shabaka?
You're coming in loud and clear on this end, sir.
Okay, please, thank you. Okay, please make sure y'all like and share the broadcast. Family, please join us on StreamYard, YouTube, Frontline Black News. The links to all of our channels are in the description, including Frontline Black News, Frontline Black News 2, our backup channel. Make sure y'all sub up to that. My personal page, Jesse Paris, aka Chan Chroma, where we stream all the city council meetings and community events. And then Lady Chase other YouTube channel, Seduction Dog. Make sure y'all sub up to that, so she can start going live on there. And then her main channel, the RBA, the Revolutionary Agenda. Make sure y'all sub up to that. And then we got Shabaka's channel. Make sure y'all sub up to GenEp1 so Shabaka can start going live on his YouTube channel. And we got our cousin, our Loaster out the Bay Area, Jay Militant. Make sure y'all sub up to his channel.
Hey, Jay Militant.
What's cracking TV with Jay Militant? Then we got our brother Kukizi out the Mile High. Make sure y'all sub up to his channel too, Kukizi 5100. And then we got our brother Breeze Omega out of Virginia by way of New York.
Breeze.
He was live yesterday. I chopped it up with him briefly. Then we got the Church of Black Power, our brother out of Watts, California, who's now in Houston, Texas. Make sure y'all sub to his channel too. He has fast approaching 3,000 subscribers. And then we got our last turn out, we got our brother Black Truth United, who's on a hiatus, along with Professor Black Truth. We came up with the B1 Rolodex, which is the modern day green book for FBA and B1 businesses alike. And links to submit your businesses or a business of your choosing are in the description. The link to the Rolodex itself is in the description. Yours truly is in it. And then we got petition to council the Congressional Black Caucus and create a foundational Black American caucus. Then we got Kickstarter for Hidden Colors 6, which I just showed the trailer for. Then we got Lady Chase GoFundMe. Make sure y'all sub to that. And Hidden Colors met the goal, so it'll be going into production here shortly, and it should be hopefully released by the summer. And then we got probably just in time for Black August. That'll be dope. All right, then we got the 103-year-old grandmother who's on the verge of losing her home in South Central Los Angeles of almost 40 years. Her GoFundMe is in the description. Then we got copyright disclaimer in Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Announcements made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teacher scholarship, education, and research. And I do not own the rights to the music. And if you don't understand racism, white supremacy, what it is and how it works, everything else you think you understand will only confuse you on all 9 or 10 areas of human or people activity. And that is economics, education, entertainment, labor, law, politics, religion, sex, and war. And some say health and nutrition. And all 9 or 10 areas of human or people activity. And that was by Mr. Neely Fuller Jr., who transitioned exactly a year ago at the age of 95. ProduceJustice.com. And when you're a Black person or Catholic soldier, you must never fuss, fight, or flee. Comply and defend yourself in court. Also by Mr. Neely Fuller Jr., ProduceJustice.com. And last but certainly not least, we got racism, white supremacy as conscious and subconscious behavior to maintain white genetic survival, to prevent white genetic annihilation. And that was by the late, great Dr. Frances Cress Welsing, who just would have celebrated her 90th birthday last week. And the link to the ISIS papers in the description. And shout out to our FBA brother, Tariq Nasheed, preparing for her funeral, along with several others. So she had transitioned at 80. So she would have been 90. May she rest in power. So those are the topics. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. All right, Shabaka, we got to make this quick. We're going to have to split this show up into 2 parts. Because we got to be gone in like 2 hours, less than 2 hours. So I'm going to try to make this as quick as possible. So the first topic is America among 3 nations refusing to recognize the horrors of slavery.
Okay, and that there's selective amnesia. Well, the simple fact is that America never wants to be held accountable on anything that they did to us, right along with the Europeans. You know what I mean? And the cold part about it is you got.
Can you guess the other? So it was 3 countries. Can you guess the other 2?
Okay, Ghana. Okay, wait a minute. All right.
No.
Okay, Ghana.
No.
Okay, enlighten me.
It was 3 countries that voted against it.
Okay. All right. What were the 3 countries?
Oh, you're not gonna guess? Okay, Argentina.
Okay.
And Israel.
Very interesting. Yeah. And keep in mind that Argentina was a lot where those damn Nazis fled to as well, too, if you ever checked out the boys to Brazil's. Argentina, Paraguay, and Uruguay.
They had an ethnic cleansing that cleansed out like 80% of the Black people.
Yeah. Yeah. Damn.
And Israel is the organ harvesting capital of the world.
Damn. Now that's news to me.
Yeah, we've known that for years. If
Okay.
Hidden Colors, Shabaka, you would know it too. It was showcased in one of the Hidden Colors.
Okay. All righty.
Dr. Rashad Richie's going to give us an update on this.
Okay.
Voted that America, Argentina, and Israel voted against reconciling the evils of slavery. Vast majority of other countries voted that slavery is the worst crime against humanity. Here it is.
Assembly will now take a decision on draft resolution A/80/L48 entitled Declaration of the Trafficking of Enslaved Africans and Racialized Chattel Enslavement of Africans as a gravest crime against humanity.
Will all delegations confirm that the votes are accurately reflected on the screen? Please lock the machine.
The result of the vote is as follows. In favor, 123, against 3, abstentions 52. Therefore, draft resolution A/80/L48 is adopted.
This is at the United Nations. 123 nations affirm enslaved Africans and the slave trade, as they historically would call it, worst crime against humanity.
I'm surprised England.
I want to provide some context because the word enslaved does not provide the proper context for why it is the worst crime against humanity. Not only do you have the legal right, according to the affixed government of the time, to own another human being, you also have the legal right to sexually violate them and murder them, which also means that the word enslaved should also remind you of sex trafficking, human trafficking, and murder, because all of that was allowed. Now, there's 3 votes against it, and 52 nations abstained. Basically, the colonizers, all right? So they all just say, you know, we're going to sit this one out, just the world stage. Why provide leadership here? Here's an explanation of why the U.S. said they voted no. Here it is.
We regret that the United States must once again remind this body that the United Nations exists to maintain international peace and security. It was not founded to advance narrow, specific interests and agendas, to establish niche international days, or to create new costly meeting and reporting mandates. We do not accept this resolution's assertion that historical facts from the 15th through 19th century constitute violations of jus cogens, as the term is understood in contemporary international law. The United States also does not recognize a legal right to reparations for historical wrongs that were not illegal under international law at the time they occurred. Also, there are some fake news articles suggesting that the sponsors of this resolution called into question President Trump's support of the Black community. We reject any such suggestions. Indeed, President Trump has done more for Black Americans than any other president and enjoyed historic support from the Black community in the 2024 election. He's working tirelessly to deliver for them and make our country greater than ever.
I mean, talk about lying on the world stage. So they have to read a member state
Only thing that motherfucker been working hard for is black dead wenches.
Those are the rules for international diplomacy. Something that Trump, Hegseth, and others would never do for another nation. Those rules are followed at the United Nations. Interestingly enough, on that same day that the vote was taken, Attorney Benjamin Crump made the argument from the perspective of Black suffrage in the United States. I was with Ben Crump on that day. Later that day, him and I did our lecture Q&A event at Bowie State University in Maryland. Here's Ben Crump.
First point is that we are at a pivotal moment where reparations are not just moral conversations, but global economic imperatives. Point two, the historic justice cases that we have embarked on, that being Malcolm X versus the United States agencies, Henrietta Lacks versus the international pharmaceutical community, and Tamara Lanier lawsuit against Harvard University. These cases embody the 5 forms of reparations under international law, that being restitution, compensation, rehabilitation, satisfaction, and guarantees of non-repetition. With our model of reparations through litigation, we endeavor to evolve from justice from courtrooms to global frameworks for the entire diaspora.
Oh, no, nigga.
193. That's the number of member nations in the world body. 193. Put it up for a mass. The UN General Assembly on Wednesday did, in fact, adopt the resolution declaring the trafficking of enslaved Africans, quote, the gravest crime against humanity, end quote, and calling for reparations as, quote, a concrete step towards remedying historical wrongs. Unlike UN Security Council resolutions, General Assembly resolutions are not legally binding, but are important reflections of world opinion. The president of Ghana, John Dramani Mahama, a key architect of the resolution, said before the vote, quote, today we come together in solemn solidarity to affirm the truth and pursue a route to healing and reparative justice. Let me remind everyone that the United States of America is not antithetical to the notion of reparations. They are not anti-reparations. They are actually pro-reparations. They have given reparations to former slave owners in the United States of America. They have given reparations to the Japanese. This country has given reparations to family members of Holocaust survivors, and even a form of reparations to Native Americans. But they have not given reparations to Black folk. And we can argue that the reparations they have given, in particular to Native Americans, was not wholly appropriate
they got
to the crimes against them.
They still got
But that being said,
we ain't get a damn thing.
Reparations against descendants of African slaves is what they are adverse to. Not reparations as a concept, but reparations as a concept as it relates to enslaved African descendants. Okay? Put it up for mass. The vote in the 193-member world body, 123-3, with 52 deciding not to even participate. Argentina, Israel, and the United States were the 3 members voting against it, which is insane. Okay. The United Kingdom and all 27 members of the European Union were among those that abstained from the vote. Some of the 52 countries that abstained from the voting include the United Kingdom, Spain, Canada, France, Belgium, Portugal, Finland, Norway, Switzerland, Sweden, Germany, and even Japan. It goes without saying that most of whom historically participate or benefited from the transatlantic slave trade. The Netherlands remains the only European country to have issued a formal apology for its role in slavery. Japan is interesting because they voted or they decided to abstain, likely because of current diplomatic talks that they're having with the White House. The irony of that is if America believed in your autonomy, your independence, your sovereignty, your opinion about this matter should not interfere with your negotiations today. But see, this country or the leaders thereof, they don't believe in your right to be sovereign. They don't believe in your right to have a sovereign opinion, especially if that opinion somehow offends the opinion of Trump. Not of the nation, but of Trump. And yes, this country has technically apologized for Jim Crow and other things. But with those resolutions, with the apology, it came with a caveat. And the caveat said, this wording cannot be used against us in a court of law. There's more. The UK said it recognized the gravity of the issues addressed in the resolution and the untold harm and misery the transatlantic slave trade had inflicted on millions of people over many decades. But James Kariuki, the UK chargé d'affaires to the UN, said Britain continued to disagree with fundamental positions. Britain disagreed with fundamental propositions of the text and was, quote, firmly of the view that we must not create a hierarchy of historical atrocities. What? Yeah. Let me read that again. Firmly of the view that we must not create a hierarchy of historical atrocities. Quote, no single set of atrocities should be regarded as more or less significant than the other, he said. Well, wow. Well, let's do this then. Since you want that to be the historical view, would that work in the current view? Let's say murder is the same as littering.
Right, and there's no
would that work?
Limitation.
Because that's a hierarchy. That's called a criminal hierarchy. So we're going to treat the murderer in the same context that we treat the guy that threw trash on the ground. Because you don't want hierarchy as it relates to wrongs.
You just don't want to be
a dumb premise. It's insane. And the reason why they want you to buy the framework of that premise is because that premise makes them the number one criminal.
Backhanded apology.
That's why. That premise makes them the number one thugs.
Right.
That premise makes them the number one gang.
Yep.
So let's not have a hierarchy of historical wrongs anymore. Let's, these atrocities are just general. Let's just generally call them atrocities. There's more. Nearly 13 million.
MD's in the building.
Nearly 13 million African people were kidnapped. Nearly 13 million were kidnapped, trafficked across the Atlantic to the Americas, including the British, the French, Spanish colonies that were later comprised the United States. 2 million people died during the barbaric Middle Passage. That number is a low estimate. African countries were destabilized. They were left vulnerable to conquest, colonization, and violence for centuries. In the Americas, a caste system based on race and color emerged in tandem with the legal and political systems to codify white supremacy and enshrine enslavement as a permanent and heritage status. It became an inherited dynamic.
White supremacy.
So how does racism actually start? But racism doesn't start with race. Racism started with the social caste system. Racism, and I'm talking about the ism. I'm not talking about the bigotry. I'm talking about the ism, the system of racism. The system.
Yeah, there should.
You tell a group of people that they are superior and another group that they are inferior, and then you create government structures around that ideology. Over time, that government structure becomes more than a government structure. It becomes an ideology adopted and embodied by the individuals who have to exist in such a permeated system. And over time, those differences become echoed in the social framework of the general population. Racism emerges. Race is always here, has always been here. The ism is a created dynamic so that the powerful can remain powerful. Put it up for mass in terms of Belgium.
Belgium issued an
According to American writer Adam Hochschild. Do you remember this? We talked about this on Indisputable years ago. King Leopold on the II of Belgium. Now, this man is worse than Hitler. But you don't hear him echoed as such. Like any other European power seeking new territory in Africa, this was his job to carve for himself and took control of a vast unexploited land in the banks of the River Congo in the present-day Democratic Republic of Congo. The people of Congo were purchased like any merchandise, and then they were owned by the king, making the entire population of the Congo slaves to one person, King Leopold. He set out to carry out plunder, looted, severely brutalized individuals in the Congo. It is estimated that 10 to 15 million people were killed as a result of actions or the inactions of King Leopold.
We don't have time to debate people tonight.
Let's go to Argentina. A problematic history. Between the 16th and 19th centuries, long before the wave of European migration, more than 200,000 enslaved Africans arrived at the twin ports of the River Plate. Buenos Aires, capital cities of what are now Argentina and Uruguay. Well, the number of slaves who arrived at the region of the River Plate is almost half of those who arrived in the U.S., which gives an idea of the magnitude of slave traffic in the River Plate region. It's not a small thing. Slavery in Argentina isn't discussed as much, but it's real. Evidenced by the fact that they were a no vote in being able to historically and accurately and appropriately judge themselves. Slavery in Argentina was officially abolished in 1813. 1813 officially abolished, though the practice persisted in various forms across the Americas until the 1850s. We still have slavery in America. It's called the prison system. After abolition, Afro-Argentinians were theoretically free to pursue their destinies, but their numbers began to decline dramatically.
Grand Rising, MD. 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 You're muted, bro. I guess I'll unmute when he's ready. MD.
It's calling MD. Earth calling MD.
He's muted. All right, well, we're waiting on him to unmute. I'm going to finish the clip.
All right.
They were free in theory only. Sounds familiar? Historians attribute this decline to two primary factors: the devastating war and the yellow fever epidemic. That was in 1871. During the war, thousands of men were conscripted, sent to the front lines, where they faced heavy casualties in a conflict that was not their own.
This is a bad area. He says, give him a sec.
Okay.
Many Nazi war criminals and sympathizers also immigrated to Argentina after the Second World War. They did this to escape prosecution. This included Joseph Mengele, the SS doctor who performed experiments on prisoners and was one of the organizing minds behind the Holocaust.
Because I saw that movie, Boys from
Argentina's
Brazil,
whitening process, let's talk about it, has been studied in depth by U.S. academic Erica Edwards in her book, Hiding in Plain Sight, published last year by the University of Alabama Press. Quote, the whitening project was a successful endeavor in terms of the erasure of blackness, said Edwards.
Same thing in
The idea that somebody could be the descendant of a slave is just not there. That belief is strictly European, Argentina continues to percolate. We are all descendants from Europe, said the president, okay, at the 2018 World Economic Forum in Davos. It wasn't until 2010 census that an opinion was included for Argentinians wishing to self-identify as Afro-descendants.
A whole lot of people believe this bullshit.
Israel and modern-day human trafficking. The government of Israel does not fully meet the minimum standards for the elimination of trafficking, but is making significant efforts to do so. The government's efforts to hold labor traffickers criminally accountable remained inadequate, and it did not consistently investigate labor trafficking cases referred by NGOs. These are nonprofits that are doing good work in the region, despite regularly recognizing labor trafficking victims and the presence of.
That's why we got to do a part 2, because we'll leave in like a little over an hour.
Okay.
Approximately 137,000 foreign workers in Israel. The government has not initiated a labor trafficking prosecution in 4 consecutive years. And if you happen to be Black and a resident of Israel, you do not have full right. You do not have full access. It's called mobility law.
Yep.
Damn shame. All right, dear brother, thoughts here.
I mean, first of all, incredibly well said. That was awesome. I think the only thing I have to add is I grew up in an environment where the idea of reparations was kind of laughed at. It was.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop it there. I don't want to hear what that chocolate guy got to say.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, because the only thing he's going to do is dilute it, saying we're not bad. Well, Black people sold themselves into slavery, which is the biggest goddamn lie, but they don't never, ever want to mention that the ones that did the selling got captured too. This is what the Amistad case was about.
The ones that did the selling, though, they still owe Shabaka.
Oh, yeah, for allowing themselves to be deceived, you see? In other words, if I'm in your household, Brother Che, and you leave, you say, okay, Shabaka, you're responsible for the security here while I'm gone, right? Okay. So if it gets overrated, I invite somebody in and they still shit.
Big E's in the building. Salute, MD. I mean,
MD's in the building.
Big E.
Oh, 5423. Okay. All righty, Big E 5423. How you be?
MD's back. Hold on, I'm gonna bring you back in.
Right. And then keep in mind, this is a MD back. Okay, hey MD, how you be?
Hey, can y'all hear me now?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Grand rising to you.
Okay. Grand rising, man. Shout out to you, Jesse, and always Shabaka.
Yes, sir.
If you want to let the video continue on, I don't know how long it is, but
it's over.
You know, I just want. Oh, it's a long video. Oh, okay.
No, it's over.
Yeah.
This one is over.
Oh, it's over. Okay, all right. Yeah, I was struggling trying to get in here. Like I said, I'm in a bad spot here in Florida. So again, I told you the other day.
Get rid of the panties, man. Y'all need to recall that goddamn governor and throw that motherfucker in jail, man.
He don't live in Florida.
Well, I'm on my way to Georgia.
Yeah.
I'm on my way to Georgia, man.
Yeah, I've been all through there, man. But I'm gonna tell you one thing, though, MD. When I was down, and not getting off topic, Brother Che. You know, MD, man. When I was in the South, brother, I could hear the screaming, man. I could hear the brutalization. You know what I'm saying? And I wasn't smoking no weed either, man, because I quit smoking weed. You know what I'm saying? So was that something real on a spiritual plane, man, or was I tired from driving, or just plain fucked up in the head?
That's ancestral memory.
I mean,
yeah.
It's a shock to your system because, like, you know, and not to say that you ain't rooted in the culture, but it's a shock to the system for a lot of people when they come back to the South, man. But when your feet been in the soil for so long, you know, like for people that's still here from generations on, man. I mean, it's just a part of you, bro.
Yeah,
it's just part of you. I understand it though. I understand.
Okay.
But yeah, I wanted to say real quick, Jesse, and I said this the other day.
Yeah.
I was torn about how I was supposed to feel
Yeah.
about the whole resolution, man, because on its face, like, it was a brilliant speech by the brother, the president of Ghana. It was brilliant. I'm not gonna front, but the problem is because there's no central lead. Now this is the part where I kind of agree with Yvette Carnell. Now hear me out.
Okay.
Because there's not central leadership in regards to our political reality here in America in the reparations movement, and we say, FBA is a leaderless, it's a lineage, it's not a group. Right. Well, I can agree with that to a certain extent, but you got to have some leadership for moments like that. Ron Daniels and Professor James Small was in the building.
Yeah. Yeah.
Front and center.
Yeah.
Now, you can disagree with their position, but the fact of the matter is that was leadership that was able to put leverage upon what they wanted to see as a reality on the world stage. FBA wasn't represented. They was outside with a damn megaphone. That ain't good enough for me. It's just not. We need, and again, that's why I'm torn. This was a perfect opportunity for all, not just the lineage here in America, but the lineage across the diaspora. This was an opportune time for the specific identification of the harms of the diaspora in total. I'm talking about FBA/Freedmen/ADOs. I'm talking about CARICOM. I'm talking about the African descendants, in Western Europe, the Black Londoner. It could have represented all of us, but instead it was Africanized. That's the problem I got with it.
Right.
Okay.
That's the problem I got with it. There was no direct representation for the specific harm for each individual group, not just one. All of us could have been represented in that messaging. And that's why I kind of agree with the sentiment of a lot of the European nations abstaining from the vote based on the wording, because the wording to me wasn't even good enough. For you to simply say that this was the greatest genocide and harm in world history, you can say that, but let's look at what the letter of the law says. Hey, you'll be stupid to think that a group of white folks gonna say slavery was the greatest atrocity in world. They're not gonna say that. That's why you got to play the game. You got to play the game. There was no need to even bring up any type of hierarchy like Rashard Ritchie said. If we would have dealt with it, if all the coalitions would have came together as a group forming Voltron, CARICOM, FBA,
remember CARICOM don't include us. Remember CARICOM don't include us?
No, it's not about including us. That's the thing. That's what I'm talking about. It's not about including us. It's about making sure that everybody has representation on the world stage. We shouldn't have to include CARICOM and CARICOM have to include us.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if everybody was getting a reparations bag, maybe. But everybody.
I'm not talking about nothing about inclusion. Yeah, I ain't talking about nothing like that. All I'm saying is everybody should have had representation at the UN on that day, and we did. That's my problem with it. That's my problem with it. And the way that you have representation is to have some type of I don't want to say leadership. Liaison. Yeah, that's a good word. I don't want to say leadership because that would say that everybody is in agreement, and we damn sure know that ain't true. You know what I'm saying? But at the very least, you should have some type of baseline argument that everybody should be able to start with. You know what I'm saying? It shouldn't matter if it's FBA or ADOs or free, whatever word or three letters you want to come up with. It shouldn't matter. Everybody should be on the same baseline. Let's just say, and I'll fancy you, Jesse, on code. Let's say everybody despite any other political ideology or whatever situation, we all should be on a baseline when it comes to reparation.
Right.
So it shouldn't matter what group you want to represent. No shit like that. It shouldn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
The baseline says this. Have that representation. Same for CARICOM. CARICOM should have this baseline. So on and so forth. And that should have been established and then forwarded via the president of Ghana.
Yeah. Okay.
It's almost as if he was trying to say that Africans was hurt some type of way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? For the slave trade or whatnot. I'm like, come on, man. Come on.
Right.
So yeah, that's all I wanted to say, man.
Okay, MD. I agree with you on that. We could have had more representation.
Right. You know, because NARC was in the building and Cobra was in the building.
Yeah. Where were they at? I mean, if they were in the building, then why weren't they representing for us?
Because they're a Pan-Africanist group and it ain't their job to represent for us. They got their own ideology. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, you know, there's that. They ain't got no problem with the words or how it was worded. From their perspective, they don't.
Yeah.
Okay, can I say something, man? You just brought up a memory right there, right?
And I got to get to the speech that he makes.
Okay, let's get to the speech that he makes. And keep in mind what I was going to say. It was about an old TV series called Tarzan in the 1960s.
Hello, colleagues of the media, friends. Thank you for waiting and being patient for the vote to come through. I now want to call to the microphone the distinguished Foreign Minister of Ghana, Honorable Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa. Minister.
Thank you. Well, thank you very much, our friends from the media. Good afternoon. Today, the international community has taken a significant, considerate, and historic step forward by adopting this landmark resolution declaring the trafficking of enslaved Africans and the racialized chattel enslavement of Africans as the gravest crime against humanity. With the adoption of this resolution, Resolution A/80/L48, we have not simply passed a text, we have affirmed a truth. We have chosen remembrance over silence, dignity over erasure, and shared humanity over division. We have advanced the cause of justice, and we have done that so emphatically. Those who voted in favor, 123 member states of the United Nations. 52 abstained, and only 3 voted against. This is an emphatic victory for justice. And our ancestors, Africans, and all people of African descent are today honored that our humanity and our dignity have been restored. Let me, on behalf of the African Group, express our profound appreciation to all member states who supported this resolution. We wish to thank those who engaged in its consideration in a spirit of dialogue, reflection, and good faith. We acknowledge that views differed during this process, and we note the positions taken by delegations that were not in a position to support the resolution at this time. The adoption of this text is not an arrival at a destination, but rather a major step in our ongoing journey and collective conversation for reparatory justice. We remain committed to continued engagement with all member states in the shared spirit of cooperation. Yesterday, His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, who initiated this landmark resolution, talked about the importance of language, how it shapes our understanding of the past and our vision for the future. Today, through this resolution, the world has spoken with clarity and truth. We have affirmed that the trafficking of enslaved Africans and their racialized chattel enslavement is the gravest crime against humanity, a crime whose scale, structure, and enduring consequences demand recognition at the highest level of our shared global conscience so that we can move forward in healing and in preventing such a crime from ever happening again. This resolution is not about apportioning blame across generations or nations. It is not about reopening old wounds. It is about ensuring that those wounds are neither forgotten nor denied. It is about creating space for truth, for education, and for a more honest global conversation that allows us to move forward together with greater understanding. History, as we know, is rarely simple. It is layered, it is complex, and at times uncomfortable. This resolution does not deny that complexity. It does not ignore the many dimensions of historical experience. Rather, it recognizes that even within complexity, there are moments in history that stand apart, moments defined by their scale, their systemization, and their impact on humanity. To acknowledge this is not to diminish any other history. It is to deepen our collective moral awareness. What we have achieved today helps all of us in our renewed commitment to remembrance so that future generations inherit truth, not silence, to education so that history is taught with honesty and integrity, to dialogue so that differences in perspective become opportunities for understanding, and to cooperation so that we address the enduring legacies of history in ways that unite rather than divide. The resolution also opens the door for continued global engagement on reparatory justice, not as a narrow or transactional concept, but as a broader framework for healing, restoration, and partnership. It also calls for further actions within our respective states. We therefore urge every member state to consider carefully the actions it must take to ensure inclusive and good faith dialogue on reparatory justice. The work of justice does not end with remembrance. The racialized systems that adversely shaped our world must yield to a system that does not distinguish between our common humanity, and which seeks for the interests of all peoples in a fair, just, and equitable manner. Let me conclude with this reflection. We cannot change history, but we can change how we remember it. And in doing so, we can change what we carry forward. Today, the world has chosen to remember with purpose, justice, and equity. Let that purpose guide us toward a future that is more just, more inclusive, and more profoundly human. I would like to thank
that's all I
our
hear
negotiating
so
team, staff of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the staff of our mission in New York, in Geneva, and in Addis Ababa. And I would like to thank especially our President, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, for his vision, his dynamism, his effectiveness, which the UN Secretary General acknowledged today in their bilateral engagement, and for his humanity. His guidance has been absolutely phenomenal in bringing us to this historic moment. Ghana, Africa, and all people of African descent, and indeed all people of the world with good conscience, will eternally be grateful to President Mahama for his leadership at this defining hour in global history. I thank you very much for your indulgence, and I shall now take your questions.
We should have had a liaison
against the resolution was the United States. Were you disappointed by that vote? And of course, also, if you can comment on those that abstained, more than 50 nations. How do you feel about those? Thank you.
So I would like to comment on the reasons they gave. They sought to create the impression that the time for negotiations have been short. The president of Ghana served notice last year in September when he delivered his address at the 80th session of the General Assembly. Immediately thereafter, we put together a broad-based coalition, including experts, academics, researchers, historians from all regions of the world.
There you are, Shabaka.
And we commenced negotiations. In the history of the United Nations, this has been.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes.
A resolution that has gone
should have
through
had somebody
so many
from the
rounds of
Black media asking
consultations.
a question.
And even the duration for this consultation, each consultation, the standard practice at the UN is that it takes 1.5 hours. We allocated 3 hours, twice the time, and had multiple rounds of negotiations.
We lost
So
MP.
there are some that to
Must
us,
be in a bad
it is
area.
clear that even if we gave them 50 years, they would say that the time is not enough. But we can no longer wait. September, we will be commemorating 100 years since the last slavery was abolished. 100 years. And yet there has been
Oh, he's talking about Brazil.
So we cannot keep waiting
1926.
for those who do not
Yeah,
want to
because
reckon, who do
Brazil
not
didn't
want
end
to
slavery
come
till
to the table
1896.
with urgency and with
But 100 years would be
acknowledgement that this is a
1926.
matter that can no longer be swept under the carpet. So we disagree with the notion that
I
there was
think you're
no
right,
time
yeah.
for negotiations. Secondly, the claim they have made that we are seeking to create a hierarchy
Yeah,
of
we would have ran them off. That's
crimes.
too fresh.
We have stated clearly that it is
But
not about
irregardless,
hierarchy.
we should have had somebody
We are
there
only
asking questions.
speaking to a historical
Whatever
fact.
you have.
Never in the
Yeah.
history of mankind have we had such a systemic crime. We took over 3 centuries, more than 300 years, with its consequences still lingering onto this day.
But
Manifesting
you all
in
welcomed them
racism,
stinking nasty
structural
motherfuckers to the
inequality.
continent when
So
you should have
we are
killed their
talking about
stinking asses.
We should have had somebody there representing
contextual
us
framing of what has happened.
and not James
Not
Smalls.
about ranking crimes.
She don't speak
And we
for
made
us.
that very clear.
And that other
So
dude either.
we are clear in our minds that some are just deliberately stonewalling
Should have had
and
somebody or
introducing red herring.
ordained
But what is
speak on
fundamental,
our behalf.
which nobody can
Even if
deny,
we would have ran his
is that
ass off.
more than 12.5 million people were forcibly removed from the continent. More than 3 million people
Yeah, we
died,
asked the right
were
questions.
tossed into the transatlantic ocean, which is a mass grave site. And in our country, Ghana, we are currently,
Had
UNESCO
Black
has
Alpha
certified
there, we
that
could have had Afro Elite
the
there.
country with the highest number of slave forts and castles. We are living witnesses on a daily basis
Alicia
when we
Cabrera,
go into those
Jason
castles
Black,
and forts and we see the door of no return. We
Bill
break down.
Scott even.
My daughter Indiva, on an excursion only last week, broke down and asked me, Daddy, what did we do wrong? And why has there been no justice? I had no answers
Sister
for my
Becky Miller
14-year-old
been
daughter.
asking questions.
So we live with these experiences on a daily
Hey,
basis,
any of
and we live with the structural consequences. And that is what this is about. All those other matters about ranking, about time, about more space for negotiations, we believe that they are just red herrings, and it is not a demonstration of good faith so far as the pursuit of justice in this matter is concerned.
One of the key reasons raised by the United States for which reason they are abstaining is the lack of clarity on who is the recipient of the
Breeze
reparatory
there,
justice.
Church
What
of
is your
Black Power,
response?
anybody from the New Black Media.
That is
could have been there
surprising because
to ask
we
the
have,
question.
in this resolution, talked about frameworks which will put in place that will take care of the consequences. We all know that the consequences of the transatlantic slave trade has been the lack of
Where the hell are we
opportunity,
in all of this?
discrimination, the degradation of people of color. So we have said, let's have
People of
frameworks
color, nigga, get
that
the fuck out of
will
here. We
serve as
black people,
endowment
man.
funds
His got
to
black
support
in his
education,
name.
to support
He
empowerment,
got
to support
black
skills
in his
training,
name. He
for
won't even say
capital,
black.
for entrepreneurs, and
His
all of
name,
that.
he got black in his
And we have
name.
made clear that African leaders
won't even
or
say
Caribbean
black, he'll
leaders
say people of
are
color.
not looking
Yeah.
for money. It goes
People
against
of
our
color.
conscience to seek to profit from this. We don't want any payments made to us directly. We are talking about causes
See, that's
to
the
deal
problem.
with the structural
We don't
inequalities.
want any payments paid.
And we are also talking about the return of
Fucking
artifacts to the continent.
Yeah,
It's all
fresh,
in the
yeah.
resolution.
People
There
of
are
color is a
thousands of
fucking
artifacts
joke,
from
fresh.
Egypt all the way to
He
the
said he
Ashanti
don't want
Kingdom in
nothing
Ghana.
paid to us directly.
Those artifacts should not be returned on piecemeal as and when
Peace.
those
Well, that's how
who
y'all
are
put peace
in
out of
custody of
reparations.
those artifacts are in a good mood. So
Oh,
we have
we're gonna
outlined
give Africa
what
all the money and
must be
then
done
Africa's gonna divvy it
and
up
to whom
do out the diaspora.
these
Hell no.
redress should be
No, it
addressed.
ain't.
So again, it is totally
Because you got them
wrong
crooked
for a claim to be made
neo-colonialists who's going to put that
there is
money
no
back in their
clarity
pocket.
about who
And
benefits
then they're going to give
from
it to the
reparatory
goddamn
justice.
French and British.
Right.
They telegraph that punch a mile away, man.
That's why I'm glad Trump voted us out that
in the General Assembly. I know you're
Okay, that's why you're glad Trump voted what now?
What
out of that
message
6
does
regions.
this resolution that has now been adopted send to
But
other
if you
people
put in that 6 regions,
outside
that's what
Africa
we would
right
try to
now
do.
that are fighting for reparatory justice?
This resolution sends a very clear message that the international community would no longer tolerate impunity.
Y'all still have slavery
That
going
the
on.
international
What are
community
you talking about?
stands for justice.
There's still slavery going on.
That the
in Africa.
international community and our multilateral system we have erected, no matter how long it takes,
But
the
if
day
you
of
peel
reckoning
back the
will come.
onion, brother
And
Che,
so all of us as
I'm
leaders
sure the
should
Euros
be
got their hands in
mindful
it, but you
of
got
our
to peel
actions
back
and
the
our
onion.
policies. That
That's what the
They got their
movie.
hands on some of it, Shabaka, but like countries like Mauritania, West Sahara, they still got active Libya. They still have active slavery going on.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about. We have to peel back the onion to see what Euros are got these Negroes propped up there emphasizing this shit.
the rights of others.
That's what the movie
Once we
Shaft in
engage
Africa
in
was
impunity,
about.
in acts of injustice, the day of
Well, none of these mugs that you see on the screen represent us. None of them.
No, these
Why
ain't
in the
nothing.
hell are they?
Yeah.
Who are these two motherfuckers? What are they doing here?
Yeah,
They're not
yeah.
even
See,
black.
you
Like, what
see
the hell?
now you're getting the message, brother Che. You see,
To me, that
okay,
is a very,
these
very
Nabiscos
profound
shouldn't
message
even be involved in
the
this
UN is
conversation.
sending to the world today.
You see?
Let me take the last one.
Stefano Caravaggio in New York.
I know,
Did you have
twin, it
in
is
this
sad.
process? Did you have any contact with the African American leaders here in this country, especially
See?
in Congress?
I'm
Did you?
glad he asked that.
did you have any
Yes,
contact?
yes, we did. We did. I
Who did you have
personally met with
contact
the
with?
Congressional Black Caucus.
Oh,
I met with
God,
the NAACP.
The Congressional
I met
Black
with
Caucus.
the,
Nigga, you
with the
kiss
NA
my ass.
which is
They definitely don't represent us. We would have
Reverend
been
Al
better off
Sharpton.
saying
And
Caracon.
I am delighted
not
to note that following our
Cobra
meetings,
or
they all
NARC.
publicly endorsed this draft
I
resolution.
remember in Cobra,
The
you know, I
Congressional
attended
Black
some of
Caucus
their
actually
meetings,
wrote
brother
to the
Che, in
US
the
ambassador
90s in
here
Los
to
Angeles.
make sure that he votes in favor
Yeah, the
of this
National
resolution.
Coalition
I'm sure
Against
he's
Police
been in
Abuse,
talk
if I'm not
with the
mistaken,
Congressional
that's what it
Black Caucus,
was.
62 congressmen who urged him to vote
Jasmine Crockett don't
positively,
represent
and
us.
he's defied them. I
Exactly. See,
don't want
this is
to
what
be in
I'm
his
talking
shoes
about, man.
today.
These niggas is on puppet string.
And, there was also
Yeah, the
a statement of
Africans
endorsement
and
yesterday
the
from
Negroes.
NAACP. And I also
Exactly.
note that a lot of black members of parliament, particularly in the House of
Now
Commons,
he says black.
the MP Bell
Before
Ribeiro,
he's talking about
she
people
has
of
also done
color.
a phenomenal job in
Lord have
mobilizing the House
mercy.
of Commons in support of this resolution. So
The House
we've
of
had a
Commons.
very broad-based
You
coalition,
stupid
and
motherfucker.
we thank them very much for
You
the
couldn't
support,
have
the
found
pressure
no
that they
other
all brought
British,
to bear. That
black
is what
British
has culminated in this
anything.
victory. So it's a
Exactly.
collective victory, and collectively we must all take credit. For
Okay,
this victory.
Fresh, tell me what that means, man. I see a bunch of
Thank you very
schools
much.
there,
Thank you.
brother.
Thank you. We'll
Explain
have
it
more
for me,
opportunities
Fresh,
to interact.
always.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Yeah.
I think time is running out. I think those are hourglasses. I could be wrong.
You
Oh,
sold
okay.
our ancestors for umbrellas. You sold our ancestors for fine china. You sold our ancestors for any little trinket that you could get.
Family that
And
was out there.
now, and now,
I would
you
see that somebody
mad because
inside
other nations
speak on
got
our
rich
behalf.
off the slave trade, and all you got was some beads. And now you want to sit here and try to ask for $100 million.
Yeah, on Pepper Street.
Where you stole and
That's
held
that's when he was
ancestors.
illustrating Pepper Street.
Johnny Williams, I saw you earlier. You don't speak for us because you don't have our blood.
That sister, bro.
And Al Sharpton, you have our blood, but you still don't speak for us. You are a shakedown
Might be
artist,
related
a preacher
to
without a church. You don't speak for us. Who else? Is that Clark?
Yeah,
You might have been voted in, but you weren't voted in by us, and you don't speak for us. And that's why we gonna make sure
Man,
that
Donnie,
you
none of
lose
y'all
all these extra bodies that you putting on the.
So make sure y'all go to that website and sign the petition and get the letters out.
Okay.
So Lisa's gonna go in depth on it. I gotta make a
All right.
Shalom,
Okay,
family.
going on mute.
See you all here. Hope you're doing well. Oh, you know, this one has been a touchy subject since Ghana and their president has gone to talk about reparations are owed. Yes, I definitely believe reparations are owed. Well, the bottom line is we really don't need anybody to speak up for us. You know, I mean, intentional, unintentional, we really don't need that. And I think it's important, you know, whenever there's conversations about reparations, in my opinion,
DSB
it
is in the
sends up a
house.
red
Hey,
flag
DSB.
when you don't see any of our
Deuce and a
people
quarter.
deserving. Oh, she has. Oh boy. So I'm gonna let you
Shalom,
see
DSB.
how
See you. Thank you for tapping in.
some of our people reacted. There was a protest in New York because the president of Ghana was coming and he was going to go to an African burial site. Well, FBA showed up and showed out for real. So you're going to see exactly what happened when they made their visit to New York City. All right.
Yeah, we're gonna have a record-breaking heat tomorrow, Brother Che. I just got the notice here, out here in the desert.
All right, y'all. Please give me a 1 if you can see my screen.
Oh, okay. We having a record cool down. It done dropped like 60 degrees.
Man, y'all with that mile-high snow and shit. Yes, it's more snow so we can steal your water.
No snow, just rain. We ain't
All
gonna
right,
get no
that'll
snow.
work too, so we can
No more
steal your
snow for
water
you.
from the.
No, you
Yeah,
won't be
so we can
stealing
steal
nothing.
your water,
You gonna
man.
be
We need
dried
your
up.
water.
You gonna be dried up. You thought like me was dried up.
For umbrellas. You sold our ancestors for fine china. You sold our ancestors for any little trinket that you could get. And now, and now, you mad because other nations got rich off the slave trade and all you got was some beads. And now you want to sit here and try to act for
Yeah, give them the business, sister. I agree with everything that sister is saying. Give them the business.
Yeah, that's
Work
my
with
niece.
it. That's your niece?
Yeah. Well, I might be related to her, but she called me her
I saw
uncle.
you earlier. You don't speak for us because you don't have our blood. Al Sharpton, you have our blood, but you still don't speak for
I got a
us.
lot of family
You
in New
are
York.
a shakedown artist. Without a church. You don't speak for us.
Yeah, crumb bum on that bobblehead motherfucker. Tell him to go put another banana in his mouth. Yeah, tell Al Sharpton to shove a banana up his ass and put another banana in his mouth.
That you lose all these extra bodies that you put on the
in the South, to the family in the West, to the family in the North, to my family in the Midwest. If they come to your grave site, your burial site, you pull up too and say one simple thing: Africa is not our voice.
They're at the African American burial ground with the Ghanaian president.
Donald Trump Muhammad is trading Africans for favors in their U.S. military base that is located on the tarmac of Accra Airport, and the FBI is soon to be one of you New York City police officers will be stationed in Accra, Ghana, because they're killing themselves in 15 deadly tribal conflicts in Savannah region, Sampa, Boku, Kumasi, and the Apapam in the eastern region. The Ga are fighting the Achim with machetes in that tribe. The main focus is Africa is not our big homie.
Ghana is not our big homie. You cannot participate in the slave trade 400 years ago
30 more minutes
and think that you're going to spin the block and get a check.
Okay.
It don't work like that. I know it's tax season, but no, it don't work like that. You don't get a refund, okay? Yeah. Some of y'all need to send some of y'all representatives over here across the street. We already traveled across the ocean. What more is to cross the street and to come holler at the ancestors that you saw?
So today in the financial district, like at the African American burial ground of, enslaved Black Americans, I told you guys that the Ghanaian president was going to go and do a ritualistic ceremony by laying a wreath at the burial ground, and how he was also going to go to the AU, the African Union, and the United Nations to speak on behalf of Black Americans, in the diaspora, but he's literally chose specifically to come to the United States of America to demand restorative justice and reparations on behalf of enslaved Africans. And I just think that it is so disrespectful to our ancestors, because we're not continental Africans. And if you heard, shouts out to Lacey, if you heard some of the things that she was saying in the beginning, she was talking about all of the atrocities that is literally going on in the country of Ghana right now. And she also was talking about how many Black American people have lost their lives trying to go back to the motherland to build and to build and have community and camaraderie, and how some of them have literally been slaughtered, raped, had their resources stolen, have been in bad and shady business deals with some of the people over there in Ghana. Not all clearly, but she listed off a slew of names. She had a list, and her page is dedicated to that. I've had her on my panel before. I'm going to at her, but you've seen her website that it was like on the screen. Of course, the mayor of New York City, Mayor Mamdani, he was also there giving his well wishes and lending his voice. And I don't know, it just seems like it's all about a money grab. Like, because then we have to pose this question. Just say hypothetically, in a really, really odd world, on a very, very completely different timeline, Ghana was able to get reparations and restorative justice on behalf of
Jim Clyburn,
the chattel
some
slavery
bootlegger that's been responsible for blocking our reparations.
The atrocities that happened to Black Americans here on
that is a
the
fact.
United States of America soil. Would they allocate those funds to us? What do y'all think? Do y'all think that Ghana and the Ghanaian president and the African Union would give any of the funds if hypothetically they were able to secure a bag, because they're already getting USAID and they're already getting money, whatever. But if they were literally able to give some type of reparations on our behalf, do y'all think that they would give us any of that? Will we ever see any of that money? Let me know what y'all think in the comments down below. And shouts out.
I'm letting you know what I'm thinking now, sister. No, because them motherfuckers are still on the goddamn puppet strings at a fucking disco.
Shouts out to those of us who was out there, boots on the ground. And Lacey also said that
if I was out there,
she was. Y'all gotta go check her page out. I'm gonna add her. She went and looked how they posted it on a Ghanaian news channel, and he had to edit it so that you couldn't hear us in the background hooting and hollering and saying, hey, no, we're not for this. I wonder if the news will cover the fact that Black Americans was literally across
Brother
the
Paris
street
did a show on that about a year ago,
okay,
man.
we're
You
not,
can check
we
our
don't like
archives
this. We
on it. You know, Brother
this,
Che, the bitch who said, I'm just here to take.
Just no. I wonder. But that's what we have platforms for. And this is what we have our pages for, because we are, after all, a new age media source. Spread love is the Brooklyn way.
We, the foundational Black Americans, have not received our reparations. Cash reparations for foundation.
A lot of Black Americans slash FBA are angry with Ghana president because he came to the UN yesterday in New York asking for reparation and to recognize slavery as the gravest crime to humanity. He is fighting for all enslaved Africans, but the Black Americans slash FBA was angry about it. Like, why did they come to America to demand justice? Because they played a huge role in slave trade. They said that Africans sold all of them. They were not kidnapped by the Europeans. They were
No,
sold
they were kidnapped, and the motherfuckers that did the selling got kidnapped also.
I shared the video
Remember
to
that.
my stories.
European came with
Shout out
lies,
to the
deceit.
FBA family in New York City for going out there and being
Read
bold
LaRose
enough
Bent.
to protest against
Check our
this
past episodes.
replaying ceremony that the Ghanaian president had flew out to do some type of ritual or ceremony over our ancestors in New York City. And
what you
as many of
motherfuckers should have did when you first saw them stinking, nasty ass, unbathed troglodytes, you should have killed them
for them to
motherfuckers.
try to overtake our reparations talk. And what they're trying to do is the African Union is trying to add us as like a sixth leg to the African Union, and they're trying to get reparations for chattel slavery, the transatlantic slave trade. They're trying to take that over and give the reparations to Africa and pretty much cut us out of it completely. So our people who are the ones who actually suffered, the people in the Americas who are actually the ones who did the physical labor and who actually suffered and were beaten and brutalized for 300 years, we're the ones who are really owed anything, if anything is to be paid.
And you got to remember the Jim Crow Southism,
and we already know that they would have no intention
What year
on
that
giving
in,
us
Brother
anything.
Che? About
We're the ones who are
65,
owed it.
66,
I really
I
feel like
think.
a lot of us are just tired of the disrespect, tired of them trying to overshadow and take everything from us. It's like create your own movements. If the African Union wants a reparations talk, that should be a totally separate thing from chattel slavery. That's not a talk that's for them. It's a talk that's for us. If they want to have a reparations talk, it should be with the UN about the effects of colonialism and colonization that it's had across the continent. But it shouldn't have it shouldn't be overshadowing our discussion of reparations, which is owed to us. Because if they give the reparations to the African continent, that shuts down the whole conversation is now, it's a done deal, and we get nothing, and we were the ones who were actually owed it. So that's the reason why people are upset. It's not about being anti-African. It's not about hate. But you can't just let people overtake something that belongs to you and try to steal from you. And that's how we see it. And so I'm shout out to y'all that was out there. I was watching a live stream and I definitely enjoyed it. I really wish I could have been out there with y'all.
Well, if I would have been out there, I would have got arrested. Because I probably would have fired on one of them motherfuckers.
It was good to see like people are not just being silent about
with
this.
this right hand.
I saw my moron mob dummy, the mayor of New York City. He was out there and they were kind of like yelling at him too, like, you say that immigrants built this nation and you're being disrespectful and stuff like that. So it was really good to see like our people out there like actually expressing themselves like that. Just the fact that this is even a discussion is like sickening. Like we shouldn't even be sitting here having this conversation. We shouldn't even have to be out there protesting anything, especially in anything that is in regards to the respect of our people and our lineage and our history and our ancestors and things that are supposed to be restitution for us. Like we shouldn't even be having to fight over nothing like this. This shouldn't even be a discussion.
Exactly.
But unfortunately,
that's what I'm talking about, crew.
Here we are.
Yeah, what happened, Brother Che? Did she finish or did it freeze up?
It froze up on her end.
Okay.
Now, y'all, you're going to have to judge how you feel. I don't know. I think when it comes down to reparations, everybody going to chime in and give their opinion. I mean, that's all right, whether you're for or opposed. But I think what we are tired of are these attempts to get involved. No, I mean, I think with us being, what are they estimating, about 50 million of us?
Yeah, 50 million.
I think we should be able to push that agenda and speak for ourselves. Yeah, slavery, chattel slavery itself may be gone, but the effects of it is still here. That's not gone. And that's not being felt in Ghana. by anyone, and no African nation for that matter. They're not
I know
feeling
that's
this.
right, DSB. I feel
And yeah, I mean, do
what
you
did
feel
DSB
we
say?
need a third party
said he want to put
going
hands
up to
on
the UN
all
for our reparations?
I agree with DSB. DSB hit the motherfucker from the
I
left,
believe
and
we're
I'll hit
more
his
than
ass from the
capable
right.
of doing this for ourselves.
Coach said my dad sent me an article about the Ghanaian prison.
So,
We're not send him out there.
you know, wouldn't technically Ghana owe reparations themselves?
About that scene.
Just saying, are they deflecting?
Yeah.
So,
No, that's exactly what they're doing, is deflecting, Lisa Honey.
yeah, nobody did. You know, it's just like when Africa took it upon themselves to make us the 6th region.
Yeah, remember I was just talking about that.
And it's amazing how they keep doing these things, and they make sure nobody from our community is there.
We should
But
have
the
this kind of
topic
person in the room.
is about the slavery and what occurred.
And not Jane Smalls.
You know, there are some people that are glad that Ghana brought attention, but what are their real true intentions?
Right.
Is it to
Infiltration
take the money
on
and
us
just leave
so
us
they can
with
sell us
nothing?
out to them goddamn Nabisco.
That's how scammers operate.
That's exactly what they were going to do, Shabaka.
You know?
Like, brother, remember them fucking emails we used to get from Nigeria? Hey, man,
There's
I
a
got
lot of things going on in Africa. There are many things that are happening in Africa that these folks can go to the UN and talk about. I'm sure there are many stories of things that occurred in Africa that we can talk about those things. You know, they want to latch on because they potentially see how much
they do for allowing themselves to be bullshitted, crew. Just like I told Jay, if I'm in Jay's house and he goes for a few days and something come up missing, I'm responsible, right, Jay?
But y'all, as soon
Same
as we're
thing,
elevated,
on the reverse end, you know?
as soon as we get our inheritance,
You don't want to get them in trouble, but you want to get them.
You think it's bad now? Oh, it's going to get worse. You can best believe it.
No, we're not playing.
Well, you remember what the 6th regent said? They said that they wanted to get the money for us to come over there and help build Africa.
Yeah, they're trying to.
Well, the nation building days are gone. We're not
some more of them
building
damn
any
emails from Nigeria, huh?
Especially,
I got $25 million. I need to put in your bank account.
Yeah, that shit.
And
how many of them buster ass motherfuckers
are
cussed out?
Building. So what are you going to do? Swipe the money, have us build the nation while you're in the background treating us like crap? No, thank you.
$100 grade car, yeah.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
But he's not an immigrant.
Y'all,
He's still
you're
got his
just gonna
American
have to let me
citizenship.
know in the comment section. And let me know how you feel.
You don't have to worry about that if you're an actual
attempt
immigrant.
For Africa to try to speak on our behalf for reparations. Antithesis, thank you so much for the super chat. Supporting. Thank you so much. For your super chat and your continued support for my channel.
One more clip.
All right.
So I'm gonna go, y'all. This is my final live for today. Thank you for your patience, because it took patience for this day.
And we'll have to come back.
And thank you for your support.
And on the dual citizenship crew, I have to pull up this cat, Jerry Rawlings, who's the president of Ghana during the Clinton administration. Remember him, Brother Che?
Yeah, vaguely. I
Yeah.
mean, I was a kid.
Right, but I'll pull the data up, man. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so I got to pull that up. Plus, I got to do the count of the slave ships. You know what I'm saying? Before your morning drink, crew.
Oh
Damn, crew,
man,
drink some water,
you
man.
gonna be
Drink some
fucked up
water,
before
homie.
noon. Crew, you trying to get fucked up before noon?
Yeah, come on, crew. Drink some water, homie. You better than that, man. But I ain't going to tell you not to drink in the evening now.
Drink some agua.
Yeah, some water, man. Some water.
Shit. Current Ghanaian president was vice president when I lived there.
And I had relatives that traveled to Ghana in the 1970s. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Shabaka, that was over 50 years ago.
Yeah, 50 years. Over 50 years. It ain't long enough for being an old bastard like myself, you know. Okay, yeah, the cranberry juice and water. Yeah, crew, that's what you need is the cranberry juice.
Yeah.
And thank you for reminding me. I got to get me some.
All right, y'all.
Yeah, I know, man. But one thing, though, brother Chair, I will say about us, man. Ever since the beginning of time of all the shit that we've been through, man, we still prevailed. You know that?
Live to get old, Sonny.
Yeah. Well, crew, if your ass stay alive, your ass would be old too, nigga. Shit, I'm not even gonna pay that bullshit no mind.
He was just piggybacking off what you was saying, Shabaka.
Yeah, I know. His ass gonna get old too. You're gonna get old too. I'll be gone. But just remember what I passed down. Take what is useful, throw out what is useless. You know what I'm saying?
That's exactly what we're doing, Shabaka. All right, what are your closing statements on this Ghana reparations proposal?
Okay, it's bullshit, and they need to go wipe their ass with it. It's bullshit. You trying to be a mummy like me, older than the Mississippi River? No, I ain't quite that old, crew. The Mississippi River old the motherfucker, man. I ain't quite that old yet, Sonny. You know what I'm saying? And then on a little bit of boxing history, ladies and gentlemen, in this month of March 1974, George Foreman defended the heavyweight championship in Caracas, Venezuela, believe it or not, Brother Che, with his second round knockout of Ken Norton. Just putting some boxing history up there. Yeah.
I like it. Oh, I look at it like...
Okay, DSB. Yeah. Now, DSB, you got a point right there. I look at it. Yeah, that we don't get old, we get wise and smarter. Now, DSB, you're right. But however, though, DSB, there's a whole lot of old
wisdom.
Huh?
With age is supposed to come wisdom.
Right. And I've seen some old stupid motherfuckers up here, Brother Che, on this goddamn social media, man, that I found incredible. You know what I'm saying?
It's supposed to come with wisdom. It don't always work out that way, but it's supposed to.
Yeah, exactly. And there's one dude who I kicked off my page, man, who I was arguing with on my page. I'm not going to say his name. Boy, and this nigga was stupid, boy. I'm telling you, and I hate using that term, but he was real stupid. Yeah. Okay. The crew says, I think we recycle like I think my daughter is my grandma. Now, you want to know something, crew? You might have something on that right there, bro.
Yeah, you might.
You just might have something.
Because, I mean, your soul leaves your body. So if your soul leaves your body, then that means it travels. So it could travel into another body.
Okay. All right. Okay. Crew says Kwame Brown took on Jason Whitlock live, and he put the link in there. Okay, Brother Che. Yeah. Okay, Brother Che, could you copy and paste that link?
Or an actual fight? I think it was.
I think I died several times. Just reset. Well, crew,
you got to count the rings in your eyes. You got to count the rings in your eyes. That tells you how many times you've been here.
The rings in your eyes?
Yeah.
Damn. Okay. All right.
got rings
Okay.
in your eyes, then that means you've been here several times.
Okay, and what was that song that Dionne Warwick made, Deja Vu? I think I've been to this place before. Just like, man, when I crossed through Alabama.
It's too long of a video. This video is like almost 2 hours long.
Okay. All right. And then what we got to do, we got to get in touch with them brothers that make them. Yeah.
Because it's a long ass video. I'm not going to have time to play that. But thank you for sharing, crew. All right. So I'm going to give my closing statement. You tried, Ghana, to usurp our reparations, and it didn't work. Shout out to the FBA brothers and sisters that did protest. I'm still saddened that we didn't have nobody in the room, though. We should at least have one person from Black media in the room.
Yeah.
To at least ask
we'll get it together.
Some damn questions. Some pertinent questions.
Oh, I got a question for that motherfucker already. My first question is to that motherfucker, man, where the hell did you get that tailor cut suit from? You damn sure didn't get it from Africa. So you either got that motherfucker from England, the US, or Japan.
Yeah, it's the rings in the eyes. That's what I've been told. I'm gonna have to make a movie on that.
Yeah, I've heard about that there too. Yeah. And then also too, Dr. Kwesi, if you're out there, please get in touch with us. Earth calling Dr. Kwesi.
You had an out of body experience, crew?
The only FBA that were there were Pan-Africans. I would even like Shabaka to be there.
Shabaka's a recovering Pan-African.
Hey, but I got to say this here, you all, that y'all gonna laugh at. Okay, you remember me telling you about Tarzan? Okay, okay. There used to be a TV series.
You did?
Okay.
Oh shit, that's some crazy shit. You seen Papa Legba?
Now, who is Papa Lega?
I believe it has something to do with hoodoo.
Oh, okay.
Which is our version of voodoo.
Oh, okay, or voodoo. Okay, all righty. And you just brought back a memory, Brother Che. During the Black exploitation years in the early 70s, the Black movies
he's a recovering Pan-Africanist. He would have to represent FBA. We wouldn't need another James Smalls.
Yeah. But what was this movie called? Sugar Hill? Wait a minute.
It probably was Sugar Hill, Shabaka.
Okay, it starred a sister. Okay, the only thing I know, Brother Che, was doing a Black exploitation film.
Protects the Rose.
And it starred a sister by the name of Marquette Bay.
Is that the one
Markiadey?
Is that the black dude? They always when they depict them, they show him like midnight black, and he always has a cigar in his mouth.
No, not. I think they call. Wait a minute. I think that motherfucker was, and I think they call him Baron Zombie. And then, out of the old James Bond series with Roger Moore, they did a movie called Live and Let Die, that did something with it. With what's the brother's name? Yaphet Kotto, and I think he had transitioned on recently. I think like in about the last 4 to 5 years. You know.
Yeah. Well, we gotta wrap this thing up, y'all, because I got to get Lady Chase for her appointment.
All right, and I got to make some runs. All right, crew, it's always a pleasure. We'll argue and fight later, man. I'm kind of like, in recovery from that. But one thing I will say about our podcast here, Grand Rising with Shabaka and the Chase and Shabaka's Black Experience and the Frontline Black News. Boy, there ain't never a dull moment here, you know? Yeah, and then also too, Ghana, you motherfuckers over there owe us some dough too, because you all sat there and allowed them goddamn Nabiscos to bump your head. That there is the comparison I'm making with. If Brother Che allowed me to stay at his house and he says, okay, Shabaka, I'm gone for a couple of days, and shit come up missing, I'm responsible.
We got Joe Cool in the building. Salute, Joe Cool. Haven't seen you in a while.
Oh, okay. Okay,
cool.
Joe Cool. Greetings.
Get ready to take Lady Shay to our appointment. You got the tail end of it, Joe Cool, but come back, listen to the replay. I'm gonna go live again later this afternoon.
Okay, and I'll be out there in the street, Brother Che, and I'll try to get with you as best as I can. Also, too, ladies and gentlemen, if you're on Facebook, go to the like page of Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced, okay? And please follow it, okay? Now, keep in mind, they changed the like page a little bit. There are Nabiscos in there, and I need some help up there crushing the motherfuckers intellectually. You know what I'm saying? And then after you crumb bomb on your damn troll or what have you, delete and block the motherfucker. I say that's what's been keeping the page up, Brother Che, because when I get these assholes in there, is that I insult them and then I immediately block the motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, make sure y'all check out the group on Facebook, Resurrection of the Mental Dead.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, and follow that hashtag Resurrection of the Mental Dead. Sign up for the group if you're on Facebook by the same name. You see what I mean? And we're going to start doing some brainstorming in there because we're trying to monetize and we need everybody's help. And then if you do donate to it, we will send you an itemized receipt of what the money got spent on.
How to do that, Shabaka, because he has over 100,000 subscribers.
So wait a minute. I'm sorry, Brother Che. Please run that by me again, sir. Our
brother Joe Cool, he has over 100,000 subscribers. But I need to wrap this up. So we appreciate everybody that tapped in. Shout out to the MD for coming on the panel with us. Shout out to Crew for coming through. Shout out to Mac 285, Twin, DSB, our warrior brother, Big E for coming through. Certified salute. And I think that's everybody.
Okay.
Oh, and Kahari.
Yeah, definitely Kahari. Yeah. And Cruz says here, make shorts for the channel, best clips that will bring in more subs.
Fresh.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I almost forgot Fresh. Fresh came through, Fresh always.
Okay. Then Cruz saying here, Joe Crew from Joliet, Kankakee, Illinois, the police auditor. Whoa, okay.
Yeah, he audits the police. He's one of our favorite auditors. He came out here to Denver. I met him when he came out here to Denver.
Okay, yeah, we need to invite him up, man. You know what I'm saying? So therefore, when I do something on the LAPD, I just want to get some feedback from him.
Yeah. I don't know if he's been out to LA yet, but if he has, I'm sure he know about him.
Okay, and I'd just like to ask him some questions if he got jacked up by him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's in Illinois right now.
Oh, okay. All righty. Okay. Thawing out and stuff like that because this is springtime now.
So this is going to conclude season 11, episode 21, Grand Rising with Shabaka.
27.
Yeah, I said 27.
Yeah.
That's March 27th.
Yeah. Okay, episode 27 on 27. Okay, Cruz says now he's in Crown Point, Indiana. Okay.
Yeah, you're in Indiana now, Cruz.
Yeah, so Cruz 3 hours ahead of us now. Yeah, Cruz 3 hours ahead of us now.
No, he's still on the he's still on the Central Time Zone side.
He is?
Yeah. He's just outside of Chicago. Crown Height is just outside of Chicago.
Right, yeah, because Indiana is literally across the street from Chicago.
Yeah, he's like in the suburbs of Chicago.
On
the Indiana side.
Right. Yeah, hey, Crew, and go jack that motherfucker up in that toll booth, man. I was taking my money, man, when I was making a mistake, man. going into Indiana when I should have got off, man, on Halstead, I think.
All right, so we'll see y'all later. So appreciate y'all tapping in. So Tang Plummer signing off from the Mile High Income and Legal Market for the City, along with Lady
And
Che.
this is Shabaka Sankori
from the Sin City.
This is Shabaka Sankori signing off from Sin City. Come on, 7-Eleven. Okay, DSB 225. Stay blessed, brother. You know what I'm saying? Okay, let me go through a couple of these stones to see if I can come up on some money. I'm only joking. All righty. Okay, talk to y'all soon. I'm out.
Okay. Shabaka.